Just getting set up. Just in the process of getting set up. I've got about 10 minutes to go before it starts. So I just bid you to hang fire for a little bit. I will be setting up the Instagram as well, just so you know. So if you hang on a bit, we'll get into this, okay? See. Anyway, I hope you're okay. Just a few minutes now, really. It shouldn't really make that much. Let's try and, there you go, that's not too bad. All right, okay, well, there you go. Well, here we are. Let's turn the lights on. Put it a little bit better. That does the. It should be okay. That. Okay, 2 minutes to go. Let's have a quick look. What we've got going on here. Okay, that's not too bad. All right, so put you there. Well, let's just quickly bring you up like that. Well, it's quite tricky to talk. How you doing, John? How you doing, buddy? I've got two things going on here. I've got the Instagram, which is the close up, and of course, you guys there on YouTube. But it's just a little intro into what I'm trying to do here. Um, just basically using ideas, pictures, things that you like, that you appreciate in art in the world, and how to sort of use those pictures or inspiration to create artwork, and sort of translate that over into marquetry. Now, I don't know if it's you, John, who wanted to know the circle tree. I have a PDF. I don't know if I sent that to you yet, but just send me your email, or you know, and I can send you a PDF. Thing is, I've just had a few. I've just had a few problems this last few days. Some of the emails I've been sending out to people has been coming back like it's spam. So I don't know what's going on. I've got to figure that out. Okay. Um, no. Okay. Okay. All right. But anyway, there's a PDF there on Circle Tree showing how I make that device. Um, and it's a PDF. It's like 10 pages long, and you can look at it and go, "Oh, that's how he did it. Oh, I can make one." Yeah, so that sort of thing. I think that, John, what you was interested in was the shadow casting technique, shadow casting, and that's oh, that's Joe. Yeah, right, Joe. Thanks, thanks. Yeah, the shadow. It's really odd. Usually, I do this on Wednesday nights with the marquetry. I usually do like Zoom sessions, and we sort of talking, can see people, and I like that. This is just like live streaming, so I'm just going with the flow, really. But yeah, Joe, I have tried to send some emails out today, and I have had this like spam thing saying, "Look, it's not been sent, you've not been received." Okay, so I'm working that out. But like I said, I've got some information there for you guys if you wanted. Okay. John, on the other hand, was interested in the shadow casting. I'm really happy to do a live session in the future and actually do a session with sand shading. I've done that plenty of times before, a little mini workshop to actually do live streaming of, so I'm pretty good. Anyway, I don't want to waffle on too much because it's really about drawing today and about this process. So if you see in the distance here, I have this little screen, and what I've done over the last months or whatever it is, I've collected I like pictures that I like, pictures that I think would really suit the parquetry, marquetry sort of, that sort of field, as you might say. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to put the screen then onto the picture, onto this book here, uh, and then so I won't be in the picture anymore. The Instagram will be up here, which will be for the close-up shot. But the same thing, they're both live together, and I'll just go through and just try and explain what I'm doing and how I'm sort of creating it and what I'm actually processing. Okay, so I'll stick this up. Anyway, hello Instagram. I don't know if anybody's watching, but we're just going to go with the flow. Okay, let's have a look. What happened? Hmm. Okay, cool. We're still live. How you doing, Chris? Well done, buddy. So let's just zoom this out now like that. Maybe a little more. That's as good as it gets. Anyway, thanks for coming. Really, thanks for coming. Again, I'm going to move this over now and hopefully get this like this. Okay, tools of the trick. Of course it would. As you can see here, there's loads of pictures on my, let's have a look, on my computer. like so. And I'm going to use this as reference, okay? So the things that I really need is a sketchbook. This is A3 sketchbook, pens, pencils, anything you're comfortable with using, really, okay? I have some rulers on hand. Little tip, by the way, little tip for you guys out there. You see, it's just a metal ruler, but on the back here is emery paper, thin metal paper. And what it means is when you're using it to cut in veneers, it has a lot better grip. So I use like not super glue. I use like the contact glue. I sprayed it on. I put some paper on. I trimmed it off. I tell you what, this black paper here, which is on your rulers, is fantastic. It's extra grip, and otherwise, it does this. You see the difference there? And all it is just thin it's just thin metal sandpaper, just glued on. It's amazing. So anyway, so pens, pencils, anything you want. It's about expression. It's not about going into like, the sort of pencil that you need. Well, you need this, you need that. I'm just trying to keep it low key. If you're going to do circles, use a compass, or whatever you prefer. Now, what I'm doing in this exercise, I'm using 2 sheets because, I don't want to just keep turning one over, etc. I'm going to use 2 sheets with this, okay? So that to give you an idea. Now I hope that this screen is sort of okay. It gives you an idea of what's going on, and maybe later I can show. I think I showed some pictures on Instagram already as regards to that. Okay, but if you look at this picture, this inspired me, and then from that sort of idea, now the black roll is to make it look interesting, so that people would look at it twice and get involved with it. The entire idea in beautiful marquetry is to catch people's eye and you do something that's different and unique. And people go, wow, I like that. What is it? Especially if you're under sort of like gallery conditions, okay? So this is just in a mix of different colours, coloured veneers. I have coloured my own veneers. There's a few in here that actually have why did I experimented. Again, if you want to know about how to colour your own veneers, get in touch with me. And I don't mind doing a live session on how I do it. Unfortunately, the only difficulty is for the penetration into wood. You've got to do 2 things. One is use a vacuum, or you have time. So I'll only be able to start it off for you, okay? So anyway, I'm sorry if my sound went wacky. Okay, my sound went a little bit funny. There's recently been a thunderstorm just in the neighbourhood, and I think last time I was doing it, we lost all the internet. It's crazy, isn't it? So if you can see this picture here, you can see the lines, the inspiration that it did, that it sort of like inspired me to do. And this is, let's have a look at another one. Let's just quickly try and skip through. Which one was it? As you can see here, I'm looking at cubes and lines and overlaying. And this one is using circles. What I like about circles is that they're really hard to do in veneers. You can do it by hand, but anyway, these sort of pictures that I had inspired me to do this one. I think it's actually like this. Again, if you look at the last picture I did, it's a lot of like parquetry. And these circles, they're perfect. And this is what John was interested in, which was the shadow casting. And the videos are actually on the YouTube channel. So these are the sort of things that you can do afterwards. What I like about it is you can do it to those select areas. So it doesn't, that would be extremely hard to do otherwise, So I've looked at designs and pictures and gone, I like that. I find it attractive. There's something that I like about it, you know. So there's another one. The only reason why I'm showing you the marquetry, you know, or parquetry, is just to show you where I've been going with it. It's not about, you know, oh, this is what I do. I'm just showing you where it comes, you know, the designs, the ideas, and what I'm creating, what I'm trying to create. And of course, talking of circles, I did this one recently, which is I think 11. I think 11 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And this one's like a mil and a half. This is a quite tricky one, that. So again, I know it's, you might look at it and go, it looks all right, that. But if you was to do it yourself, you know, not know about these, you would probably struggle, especially if you was cutting these by hand. Circles are notoriously extremely hard. So there's some examples of what I've been able to do as, you know, in marquetry. Okay. Just to give you an idea, let me have a quick drink. On that last one, just ended up as a sketch. In fact, it's the same paper from this book. So what I'm deciding to do now, any sketch that is in here, I can make into a piece of marquetry. Now you can blow them up, you can send them to a printer and they'll enlarge them. Potentially anything that I draw in here, I can turn into a piece of marquetry. So let me just have a look at some examples. I might try and bring these in a little bit more, and then we might be able to get a better view on this. Just to go through a few. There you go. Maybe that might help Instagram too. And let's get him out of the way. There you go. So again, this is a thing that I like, and it sort of resembles sort of wood in a particular way. So you could easily use that for a design straight off the bat. And let me tell you that some of these designs are from Wombo, Dream Wombo, and it's an AI program. And I just look on what people have created, or I just look on pictures, or type in veneer work or woodwork, etc. And these pictures come up, and I save them on my phone, and then I send them to myself by WeTransfer. Okay, so I'm collecting information, stuff that I like. And what I would say to anybody who's doing this is keep to the things that you really feel passionate about, things that you like to make, or things or patterns. You know, it's like some of the people who I contact, who are in contact with me, who I help teach marquetry, and they say I don't know what to say. There goes the quality. The people who want to do marquetry, I say, look, go for something that you really enjoy, something that you like, because I could easily give somebody a project to start with, and they might not like it, and if your heart's not in it, it's very hard to do something if your heart's not in it. So do the things that you like. I know one guy likes cars. You know, the shading is a little difficult on that particular thing, but that's what he wants. And for me, it's this particular sort of thing. So I collect information, I collect pictures that I find interesting, that have like a resonance with me, that resonate with me. And once I've done them, I then create a database. And once the database is done, then I start to look into what was it? What did I like about that? What is that essence? What is that thing that makes makes it sort of sparkle to me. What is the magic in that particular thing? Again, I like this one because of the lines. I mean, I like lines, but I like lines in a very creative way. Again, this could any of these particular things could be translated into parquetry or marquetry. Mostly what you see, some people go, I can't make that. But if you look at it, you look at the tracing or trace line, you can emulate certain things. Again, this one's circles. This is one of the things that inspired me early on to go into circles. Again, this is wood. Got some lines. I like the colors. Now this one's interlacing. This one's very difficult, and I would recommend that you be a rather advanced sort of marquetry person before you do this. But it's layers. It's basically putting a piece of wood or veneer, and then laying another piece into that, and then laying another piece into that. And sometimes they go together. Sometimes they go on top. Sometimes it will sort of look like it goes underneath. But it's interlacing where you basically lace in very fine veneers or pieces of veneer of the similar colored wood, and it makes it sort of like, and it gives it a sort of bizarre sort of three-dimensional effect, makes it look more materialistic. It's hard to explain, but that's interlacing. Interlacing is quite a difficult, a complicated process to do, and also the veneer that you're working on can sometimes split a lot easier because you're cutting into something that's already thin. Again, circles, these lines are breaking up. I think it's amazing what can be done. Again, these curves, most of these that look like they got shadows on, you would use sand shading. And if you miss one, you could always use shadow casting to do it afterwards. Again, this is just designed similar to that one. I mean, you could use different colored veneers there. Right now, I'm in the process of experimenting with different colored dyes so that I've got like a very gradual step. I need to use it on my tall ships, by the way, where I would have a blue, a lighter blue, a lighter blue, a lighter blue, a lighter blue, and then sort of organize it in a way where I can use it when I need it. And again, using interlacing, you can interlace several kinds of blues into one blue, which would make it look really realistic as a wave, for instance. And here you would use dark, light, it's just using these particular things. This is a lovely one. It's a curvy one. This one's a bit more detailed. I mean, don't take everything from these. I just look at it. I think that's interesting. I like it. Again, circles. I do like this one. There's something going on there. Geometry, etc. Somebody suggested I could use crackled eggshell for that on this particular thing. Asking your community, asking people what they think is also great. Again, circles, flowers, circles again. This is like a sketch. Again, you'd use sand shading for that, hot sand shading. So what I'll do, I'm gonna now start the process off, but it just gives you an idea now the sort of stuff that I've got going on in the background, just so you get an idea. Again, this could be done very easily. And again, this is getting a bit more advanced. At this level, I would have to be very good at my colored veneers, but it is possible. Again, these are lines. I mean, yeah, it looks quite funky. It looks better to me from here. These are houses. This is looking up at skyscrapers. Why not? Again, this is sort of abstract. What I like about abstract is you can do something, make a mistake, and basically tie it in and find a way around that. So that's what I like about abstract. You're so open to interpretation. You're so open to what you can do. I mean, there is an element of where there are rules, or like when you're designing it and creating it, there's like a sort of theme behind it, or a story, or a reason why something is there. And that's fantastic to do if you're talking to your customers, because you can talk them through the process. And they'll say, oh, I see this here. You say, well, that's the because of. And then they're like, whoa, whoa, you know. And I'll tell you what, one thing when you're talking to your customers, the things that you'll tell them, I bet you 9 out of 10, they'll be telling their friends to show off to their friends that one piece that you've made. They'll be telling them because it'll be making them look better, look better and smarter. So remember that when you're telling your customers about your design, 9 out of 10, they always remember that, and they're always telling people that story. So creating stories in what you're doing is definitely a benefit. So I mean, I like these things. These are new modern colors. You've got modern veneers nowadays, so most of these things could be done against circles. You could, in theory, use bleach over the top of what you're doing, or colored veneer, bleach it out a little bit to get another kind of tone, like, make it lighter. So there's so many things that we can do, so many things that we can tap into to enhance our marquetry. Again, this is sort of, we get the idea. These are stones. It's actually a real thing, that actually. I was walking down the street one day and I just saw this elastic band on the pavement, and it was between two layers of like stone or whatever it was. And I thought, I see circles there. So I just took a picture with my phone. I thought, this is, when you think about it, you're so into something that you're looking around and you see something, you're like, oh wow, I'd like, and this is like part of the artist in us all, really. Again, the lines, I think there's some energy. It's like there's a story there. There's something going on. With this, I would use shading. So I've gone through enough ideas now to basically say to you, look, go and get your pictures, lay them out, put them on the computer, and start to analyze what it is that you think it's about. Start to break it down. Again, colored veneers, you could really enhance that by using nicely decorated veneer. This is quite a funky one. It's quite an intense one, that. Again, squares, lines, fish. Like I said, with circles, once you've got a circle jig, you can do anything. I mean, what I like about this is these lines going through, and as they cut through, as they dissect, the color changes. You could say that marquetry is like stained glass. You could say it's like stained glass. To some degree, it is, if you know what I mean. And flowers, I mean, I like flowers. This looks like some cell shading, where you have a cell and it's just colored by a particular one kind of a veneer. And again, using colors, geometric shapes. I like these sort of things. Getting back to patterns. I think that this is in the Instagram page that I put up. Again, this. And where you've got like where it's dark here, that's where you would sort of dip it in the sand and get it like a shaded effect. Again, that would be a picture on a wall. And that's again. This is automism. This is a symbol of automism, as you might say, where you just create shapes. There you go. We'll leave it at that, and let's get cracking. Moving back a little bit. And what I might do is just start to put this on start slideshow. Normally, I like music when I'm designing and making stuff. I get into my own little moment, and I'm saying, like, if you like that, that's fantastic. Chill out, coffee, tea, beer, whatever. You know, I get into the moment, I look at stuff, and I just let it sort of happen. I haven't got any alcohol at the moment. I've just got an orange juice. Normally, that's how I like to get into the creative element of designing marquetry. Hey there, everybody on Instagram. Hey. Let's get back to that. What I try and do is leave a few pages in between. Let's do the volume down a little bit. There you go. Okie dokie. Now the pressure's on now, as you might say. The pressure's on. Get you over there somehow. Put it through. And we got better. Okay. Now, when I look at a piece like this, I've got two pieces of paper here. I'll tend to work on one, but the advantage is I've got two, so I'm usually a right-handed person. Part of me says start here, but I'm going to start here and I can just flip them around, okay? I'm looking at this and I'm seeing lines, okay? So I'm just going to go with the flow. I'm just going to go with the feeling. But part of me says that I should have something like a third, almost like it's in the pie, like a pie line. So I'm going to do a line down. And I'm going to just take a line for a walk. Now, if I really wanted to, I could stop somewhere in these pictures and quite happily sort of look at it. I saw a circle then. So I'm going to put a circle in here. Shall I do a full circle? Okay, we'll do a full circle then. And what I'm going to do a little step like so, and I keep it on the half. And then I'm going to jump back out and I'm going to do a bigger one like so. Like I say, you know, this can be replicated in the from this into a piece of marquetry. So I'm not worried about that. Shall I go for another one? I can bring you back now, can't I? There you go. It looks like a sort of semi-surrealistic sort of, call it a rose, you know. But I'm not sure if that's. And I'm going to do like a fine one. Now, when I do my circles, I can do them up to about a mil, under a mil, 0.8, I think. 0.8, 0.7. And then after that, it gets extremely tricky. So I've got my line. And I like that. I'm going to build this line up a little bit. Let's get a finer pencil. There you go. So I've got this line through, got this circle. Something's sort of telling me that what I need to do is play a little bit of a game here and do another line up here. And I'm going to stop. I'm going to let that stand out. I'm doing that because now that's a separate sort of entity in its own right. And that looks okay. And then what I'm going to do some little lines in here. But the first line is going to be what I might call a trick line. I'm going to put a line through. And this trick line is like a little bit of a line that I'm going to lay down just to sort of like play with the energy going in one direction, just to play with the energy, like there's a rule there that things have to follow this line. And from that, I've got my line. That's okay. You know, I can tweak some things up here and there later. I'm not worried about that. And then from that, I'm going to then project in parallel little lines, which will be little veneers. And then I'm going to enforce that line here, like so, but I'm not going to continue it for the rest. And I'm doing that on purpose. I'm just going with the flow. Again, I'm going to do a little line there, a little baby line, another line. And I'm going to start to proportion this now in steps, just to see how it goes, just to play on this thing. So it's now a bit sort of like stepping up. It's proportion, small, medium, bit more medium, medium, a bit bigger and bigger and bigger. Oh, it's still there, you. Come on. There you go, cake. Okay, so that's all right. And I'm tempted to go over here now, but I'm not because I think that there's enough going on there. So these are like parquetry, and this little piece here, just going to put a little piece in there like so. And I think I'm going to just add in this line here. So it's sort of following the theme, so to speak. So that's okay. What I'm going to do with this line, I'm going to make it more of a sort of fine line of veneer to make it more dominant. Now, I've got no color on this yet at all. There's no color going on. It's just pure lines, pure design. So I've got my key feature here. I've got a break line. I've got another break line. Now I'm going to have a look. I've got these little mini squares here going on. I just like these little mini squares. So what I might just do is do like a mini square. Yeah, I like that idea. I like that idea. And something sort of tells me that I should put like a little mini square thing up there. I'm just going to sketch that in. Might just do it smaller just to play around with the idea. That's okay. Just let that go. So, am I going to do real squares? Yeah, we're going to do real squares. Okay, well, squares. So, this is a detail within a detail that I'm working on now. So for every one of these little inner details, I'll have to make a separate piece of marquetry, which is okay. You know, when you're making marquetry, you look at it, you analyze it, you start to figure on what you need to do to break it down into parts, smaller parts, and then they need to come together again to make the piece. That's okay. Hi, Instagram. Just touching down with you there. Hope you're okay. like I said, I prefer my own music on when I'm doing this. And I hope the picture's okay for you guys on YouTube. I am being a little bit fancy with this. I mean, when I'm doing my designs, I don't often. So I'm actually making this quite fancy. Usually when I'm doing my sketches, I tend not to be this detailed. I put the details in afterwards. And you know what? Sometimes when you're doing this in real life and you're making this, excuse me, you get the inspiration on the fly and you'll adjust it and tweak it. That's also good. Now, I did say that I wanted to do something up here that was sort of connected to that. And I think what I'm going to do is just something just sort of stuck to me a little bit then. And I'm okay with that. I've got these sort of little lines here, which will be like that and that and that and that. And yeah, okay, let's just. These can go in and out and over each other, that's okay. And I think that this needs to slant off slightly, like that. And in here, should we do lines like that? I think, no, well, I'm going to keep them the same. Because I want this sort of connection between these two things that are going on. I want them to be a connection there. Almost like they're from the same sort of piece of veneer, or the same sort of, they've got the same ideology, whatever you want to call it. And what I can do with this, just to play a little game, I can adjust the width of the squares just to play with that idea. Just a little bit. Now, I'm not going to colour these in, but these could be multicolored sort of veneers, etc. I don't want to rub that out just, no. There's no colour on this yet. When I'm looking at this, I'm now looking at what you might call the background veneer, the base veneer, the main sort of body that you're going to have to make up. And when I look at this, I've got one here, I've got one here, I've got one here, one here. They can be totally different veneers, or they could be one entire piece. But what it allows me to do now is to look at the corners and try and sort of use that energy, that sort of the way that you look at stuff and you know that there's a line. It's like it's part of our sort of makeup in the way that we think. When we see a corner, we can sometimes see lines to those things. It's like an automation point where you can direct energy to, visual energy to. And I'm thinking, therefore, that these corners could be coming in almost like I would imagine that is like a normal sort of process, like it's almost like it's allowed, like you would accept that it's sort of like acceptable. So because I know that, I might actually just play around with that idea, that concept. See, I could come to the point here, which is okay. And I'll just imagine the lines going through. Okay, so that now is two parts of veneer in one. So I can get the veneer grain playing around. So in other words, I could get the veneer coming in like this. and then they get the veneer going like that, so it looks like a corner, so it looks like it's a three-dimensional sort of room, as you might say, and then this thing is floating around. So the grain would be following this line here and following this line here. So the grain is this way and the grain is that way. And there's something that I can do that I could even shade that background to give it an idea that is actually in a room. But I don't want to go that too far yet. So what I'm thinking now is that I've got this square here. What I might do, I might shadow cast a square into this veneer here. And if there's light catching on this, I'm throwing it onto this floor. So that seems like a good idea to me. Come on, you. Put down me now. There you go. So if I sort of project that, I'll do a little square here. And that could be sort of shadow casted in. Well, there is open space on this, and that's fine. There's loads of things for me to do. I'm thinking a circle here again. And part of that reason that's going on in my head is just a little bit of a little there, a little here, a little there, not too much. I don't want to overdo it. Sort of less is more, but at the same time, there's some sort of logic going on about it, you know. Now I can go down to about 20. I think was it like 24, 26, the smallest circle I can do, or was it 16 anyway? And what I might do here is just do this circle like do like a ring. And I might just sort of step them out slightly. Something like that. And for this last one here, shall we do that? Yeah, okay. And what I'm going to do here is just throw in a little feature, a very fine hairline on the same line, which will go in here, just to extend that, so that this is the same line. And this has been stopped, that's fine. And I'm just thinking, I just want something to be going on in this thing. I just want something different going on. And I'm going to do the step session thing. You do that. There you go. That'll look quite funky, that. If I do my contrasting grit, that's all right. Now, remember what I said before about you having a visual line into these. It's not necessary, but I'm just thinking, what should I do? Should I have a point here? I might be going over the top. It might be nice just to leave it as it is simple. But what I do want to do, let's bring these out a little bit more. Let's try and make them a little stand out a little bit more then. Okay, that's all right. What I'm going to do is have a little arch line here. No. So I've got 3 lines going on here, which are from the same arch, from the same point. And I might even just do one here. Nope, I've got to be careful. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Use this to connect them. Use this to connect them. I do need an extra one, just to play on this theme here. Otherwise, it's not gonna be. Okie dokie. Now, this doesn't have to follow those rules at all. There's a lot going on here, actually, so I really want to back off a little bit too much without too much going on. And I like the idea that less is more. So these are small details, and that's okay. And what I might do, nah, I'm not sure about that. I'm thinking of what I'm going to do here is do some straight Marquetry lines, like so. Just something just to break it up, but not too much. And I'll cross that line there, makes it more interesting. Okay, that's fine. I'm sort of trying to see it in colors, and usually I tend to do that afterwards. And I'm going to add an extra line here on this to sort of box it in and make it connect with this thing here. Come on, you. Okay. So we've got our grains going this way, got our grain going that way. That will extend there. Now, just to play, I'm going to do a line here in the middle. Just to play on circles and the fact they're quadrants, it's made up of like 4 parts. So that's what I'm going to do with that. So that's one done. I can't necessarily say it's the best piece, but it does change things when you're explaining what you're trying to do. Let's have a look at that. Come on, you. Like I say, I usually like my music on. Don't know if they can see that. So here's my 2 circles. Got my cubes, got my lines, got my divisions, and then I'll use different veneers in this, different color veneers, and also I'll be using the grain direction to actually play with some of these shapes. So let's just have a look at this particular thing there. And I think that the way that I see it, the way I've been seeing it at the moment, has been like this. So again, this picture, by the way, from me is actually in reverse. So this is actually on my right and not my left. So it does look a little bit odd. But here's my feature here from that. Here's the shadow. Here's my two circles. This is going to have cubism in, or like briquette work, as you might say. This is to throw you off. Again, I'll be using grain patterns. What I've done here also with these circles is split it. So I'm not doing a full circle. I'm doing like part of a circle. You can see where I've gone on, then stopped, and then switched it and stepped it. The same way I did here at the bottom. I've got like a bit of a section there. And what I did here as well is that these are like what I would call like, radiuses, curves based on the central point. I did 3 here and 3 here, so they're sort of mirroring themselves, as you might say. And this line that goes through comes through here. So there's a lot going on, and I think that having a nice choice of veneers in this will really set this up really good. There's my shadow casting. So what I'm looking at, I've got one background veneer here with different colours going on here, one here and one here and one here. So I've got 4 parts. And that base ground veneer, when I'm actually doing the parquetry or marquetry on this, is what I will focus on first. And if I get that balance good, so visually it's balanced and the colours of the veneers are balanced, then that is a great foundation when you're actually building up the other parts. So you've got your 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, got them. They're in place. I've got my lines in place. Got my lines. Okay, next thing I'm going to focus on my little cube things, which I'll make separate. I've got these here. I'll make separate. I'll make this thing separate. I've got my background or my inner background for my circle here. One there, well, partially one there because I'm playing with this line here. It's not actually doing much, so I'll be playing with the veneer there as a background. So there's a lot going on here. And that's where this will sort of start and finish. But that's the key elements there, basically. So I'm not saying it's the best piece that I've done. I'm not looking for excuses or anything like that. But this is like a starting point. This is a design that I could use for marquetry, and I would just pull this out. So that's that. And that's. I'm going to flip this over now. Okay. Now then. And circle there. I'm going to do a line. I'm going to do a line through that. I'll do it on the corner as well. Sometimes it is better not to talk about stuff and just do it. But what I hope that you can get from this is maybe the fact that I'm sort of speaking out my head while I'm doing it. You might help you sort of like follow along. So I've just done some proportion lines here. So it's like really wide, a little bit small, a little bit small, a little bit small, a little bit small, and I can go all the way up down here. And then the last one's going to be the, I'm going to do a line through. So let's just enhance these a little bit. I don't know if this is helping anybody. I just hope it is. It is just basically doing a little bit off the cuff, but having a reason why, thinking it through about why you're doing that. Like, what story am I trying to tell the person who's going to be looking at this in the future? The person who inspects, the person who looks deeper than the design itself. That's what I tend to do. Also in my furniture designs, that is something that is really important to me. Okay, so I had this circle, so I'm going to try and, yeah, that's okay. I did rough circles first, and that's fine. I just want to get the feeling for it. I want to get the feeling for this design. I just want to get it, you know, get it expressed. I want to just do it good. There you go. Now, should I do a ring? I'm going to do a ring. I like rings for some reason. I don't know why, but I like rings. I also like it that they're bloody hard to do too. Excuse my language. So I like that challenge. And also, if someone's going to say, "Oh, I can do that," well, you're going to have to go through the same thing I've gone through to do that. Now, I think that the circle on this is a little bit different. Okay. So this is offsetting the circle. It's no longer using the same circumference point, the same point. It's okay. Okay, let's just see how we get on with this. Oh, I need to buy a better compass set, to be honest with you. This is not good. Okay, well, I've got a ring. Yeah, okay. So I need to get a better one. So get good quality compasses. This was okay, but I've played around with it. I've had it for years, so it's not the best thing in the world. Now, part of me is saying do another one here to sort of like emulate this energy that's coming out of that, and I do like that. So, but it's going to be really hard for me to do with this. So, I might just not cheat or anything, but that now. All right, well, what I'll do, I'm going to do this thing here like that, and we're just going to ab-lib it slightly. Come on, use my fat belly. Mind out. Get in there. There you go. All right, that'll do. That gives me I know what to do when I come to do this with the real thing. It will be a big arc, but that's fine. So what else have I got going on here? So I've got this thing going on in the middle. I think that there could be something more going on in here, but I don't want to overdo it. So this thing here, I'm going to do a line like so, and like a little arrow like that, and also a little arrow here. And what the arrow is going to do is it's going to point to the center point of where the middle of that circle is. Now I do have another one here, so I might just do it in a different particular place. And with this one, I'm just going to do a little line, little arrow, like so. Oh, my bad. You get the message. Like that. That's where it's supposed to be pointing to. And then the other one, I think that I should be up here for some reason, just because it's relatively nicely balanced. Okay. That's all right. So as you can see, it's using a lot of different. The main thing is if you've got it in your head as regards to what the rule really is, as regards to what the reason is, that's all that matters. Because we are taking design and ideas for a walk. Come on, give me some music. I'm going to section that piece there in the middle, just to play with that idea. Just thinking here, should I line this on? Part of me wants to do something here with curls. So I'm just going to do these little curls here. These could be shaded in. I'm not going to shade them all in, but it might be better to actually make that more of a pronounced sort of feature there, so that you are bringing it up to a line and all these. So these have to be dipped in hot sand. That's not a problem, but you get the message. So that's going on here. So I've got this barrier now. It's almost like like an eye line. I'm just having a look at this, where these things are. I'm just thinking what I might do with these is put steps in them. Put steps. I might just put steps. Like so. Hi Instagram, how you doing? Just making this up as I go along and trying to explain the process. Hello, YouTube. You know, this. I don't think you can really go wrong. I mean, a lot of it is down to interpretation anyway, you know. So these are like lines. So that's okay. These can be shaded too. Got this line going on here. There's something telling me something. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's simple as it is. I can use a lot of grain veneer, good decorative veneer in this, and ripples. That's okay. I could do that. That would sell it, but I'm still feel like I'm missing something. I've got that thing going on there. So, do I make a division here like that? That might be an idea. Okay, we're going to tweak this now. So what I've got now is this division going on now in the design. So I've got this section here. What I'm trying to do a little bit inside is like do a little here, a little there, a little here, and build it up. Otherwise, the consequence of doing too much is that you can kill it. If you don't have visual balance in the design, you'll kill it. It will just basically burn itself out, you know. That's fine like that. That's good. So what I'm thinking of is doing something funky here, something funky. I don't want to do circles per se, but I like a sort of briquette work, something briquette going on here, some sort of like feature lines going across, really organized. So maybe I should sort of just try that. And I'm going to just use this pencil to do it quickly. And what I see is like really fine lines, almost like real, you know. Now, part of me says I should actually use this to create some visual lines going down this, which I think would be quite good. So it's like a briquette that's going on here. Come on. And what I might do here is find a reason for this to exist, but I'm now going to do this little line in here, like so, and a line here. So I'm going to cut these in. I'm going to cut these in afterwards, like so. Now, if I can get a good range of veneers on this, it's going to be fantastic. Yeah, I'll leave that like that. That's almost using the things as a divide, as division lines. And a little piece here like that. This also goes against the grain a little bit. So I've got this going on. I think that when I come to do this, I'll probably refine it a lot more than what I'm doing. That's good. So this is my briquette work. I've got this is my sector, my segment there. Here, I've got this thing going on here. That's going through. Got my circles. I don't want to. For some reason, I want to leave this sort of as much open as possible. But now I do believe that there could be a chance for me to just again do some like really funky fine lines here, just going through. And I guess what I'll do with this again is make it perpendicular. Put you there, you there, you there. I might do that. Yeah, you too. Okay, and that I'm going to leave with nothing. So this this is quite a tricky piece. This I must admit. So what I'm thinking is this circle, this big circle here, will get cut out of the base or ground veneer, spun slightly so that the grain direction is different, so you're getting a contrast, and then work on the inner circle so that it stands out more. This outside circle doesn't look that good, but my compass hasn't done that good with that, but that's okay. Now something's saying to me that there's something down here missing. So, and I'm just trying to figure out what I could be sort of doing here. I'm thinking of circles again. So I'm going to do a circle here. I don't know if I'm going to go through these or whether I'm going to do them separate as separate rings. And I might just leave them as they are circular. I think the other thing that I want to do really with this now I'm going to burn this edge here. This is going to get burned. And I'm going to burn this edge here. So it's going to get shaded. And the idea is that it's going to create like a shadow effect. I'll just do that in there. Like so. And the idea is that that will enhance the woods. Let's just try a little direction here. So again, shaded here, shaded here. And what I'll do, I'll make sure the shading is actually all on the same side, so that it does help create a sort of shadow effect on the circles. That's quite fancy. It's quite a big fancy piece. Again, what I'm looking at now is different grain direction in here to really enhance this. So let's just see what that looks like now. Come, music back on. Come on, bub, bub, bub. Let's have a look at you. So here's my main circle. So I've got one circle, two circle. This is my last arch of this, which is like a third circle, as you might say. And then in this quadrant here, in this part here, I've got these little mini circles, these little bubbles, as you might say. And I'm using like shadow burning on this to try and create like a three-dimensional effect. In this part here, I've got like cubes, like brickwork going on. And here I've got like a step ladder, like a ladder's going up, but I've also got little sections in. It's been proportioned. And the thing that divides this outside ring is these curly bits here, almost like a barrier or boundary, almost like part of an iris, as you might say. Maybe you can call this like an eye. Let's have a look what this is like here. Get this light on. So again, this is my right and this is my left. So this picture has been like inverted, according to me. So brickwork in here. There's a circle, big circle. It's okay. I think that there's a lot that can be done with this purely on the basis of the actual veneer work, the ground veneer work. And I think if you get the colours right on that, you can really pull it off. So there you have it. You've got basically these designs here have been like a source of inspiration. I've studied them, I've looked at them, I've picked them, I've chosen them, I've looked at the theory behind them, the lines, the circles, the shapes, the shading, and then that's in my head. So when I'm starting to go through this design process, I'm breaking it down, and I'm actually using that sort of knowledge from this inspiration from these drawings to actually go into a design. And you might just focus on one piece. So any part, and that's a good one. Let's do that. Any of these sections now could potentially just be, oh, good heavens, could potentially just be a different kind of veneer, different colored. Some could be shaded. To enhance the particular detail or the particular piece that's in there. Well, I think I'm nearly coming to the end of my sort of project, as you might say. And let's just bring it back up a little bit. Here we go. Let's turn this off. Let's put it on pause. And let's have a quick look at you. It's the Instagram. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out for me on Instagram because I can't see the backside of the camera. But let's have a look. You can go out the way for now, like so. So thanks for coming, everybody. Thanks for joining me. I hope that it was entertaining. I'm not trying to say that I'm an expert artist or anything. But that's not the point. The idea is to get a sketchbook, have some pictures, do some research, look for what you find interesting, and then start to experiment and start to play around with these particular designs that you have to inspire you to create something that's interesting. I use proportion as one thing that I use a lot is proportioning. I use colors, I use gradient, I use texture in the veneer. I use anything that's going to give me the advantage in the design. So although it might only be black and white right now, these sketches, the next stage of the process in the actual making of the marquetry is where you actually pull it together. You're choosing your woods, you're looking at the techniques that you can use. But for me, this is like a little, not a brainstorming session. I've looked at the pictures and I'm just trying to look at something that looks beautiful, something that looks nice, something that I think is interesting. Okay. Anyway, again, thank you all for coming and watching this video. I hope it was something useful for you. More stuff on the way. If there's something that you'd like me to work on or do or create a video about, just send me a message. Okay. Again, Instagram. Thank you very much. Keep in touch with us and more pictures and stuff on the way. And YouTube. Thank you very much. And let's stay in touch. And I will see you all in the near future. See ya. Bye. Let's go.